I'm in cyberspace, trying to use my elite hacker skills to buy an Analogue Pocket. No! The mainframe is crashing after being attacked by cyberbots!
Oh man, chomes. Here in Night City, all elite hackers and cyber criminals have moved on to peddling the hottest commodity, retro console FPGA pre-orders, and there's none hotter and harder to get than the Analogue Pocket. In this video, I'm going to go over the dirty deeds corpos like Analogue, PlayStation, and Xbox have been doing in online console sales all wrong. I'm going to talk about the Zaibatsus that care about their customers, who are doing online retro video game console hardware pre-orders right. And then I'm going to show you what elite Cyberspace stacks I'm using instead of being a freaking gunk and paying above regular retail price for an Analogue Pocket. We are living in the crappy part of the Cyberpunk Blade Runner future dystopia, and we don't even have flying cars, capsule hotels, or even bullet trains, or even convenience store bentos, in the US at least. Some of my previous most popular videos were about Analogue, and I don't even have any of their products yet. I considered trying to get one of the new colors of the Analogue Pocket, but when I saw that it was such a phenomenal hot cyber dumpster fire, I didn't even bother trying. As a retro video game fan, it can suck. We want to buy specific video game hardware, but it's highly specialized, and some are only sold online, and the process of trying to pre-order them can be fundamentally broken. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X were in their early months after launch when the COVID pandemic shutdown hit. But even before COVID, online pre-orders were placed as a huge priority over brick and mortar retailers. The reason why this sucks is companies would manufacture a certain number of consoles and then divide them up into a couple thousand units and then hand them off to the various retailers, both online and in person. Analogue did this by manufacturing a certain number of units, then having this online pre-order orgy feeding frenzy, which ended up leaving a lot of fans empty-handed and slightly pissed off. It is unknown if Analogue likes all this attention or if they're artificially creating FPGA FOMO, fear of missing out. Apparently, they would allow people to pre-order multiple units at once, which encourages people to flip them for profit. And then there are cyberbot services and software which was originally designed to buy up limited edition sneakers and concert tickets that are being increasingly used to snatch up new video game consoles and video cards. And then they would be sold at over 2 to 3 times the actual retail price. This sucks. Unless the industry tries to change this, it's going to tank the launch of the Super Nintendo Switch 2, the PlayStation 6, and the Xbox XXXL. The entire business model for the video game console industry requires them to get the consoles actually into the hands of the gamers who want to play them because they make the real money selling games to them. Analogue is not in the business of selling games, so apparently they don't care if they're selling their consoles to fans that want to play them or to asshole disaster capitalists that are trying to flip them for profit. And to the disaster capitalist assholes doing this, I highly encourage you to pursue one of 2 choices. Choice 1, quit doing this and get a real job. Option 2, go suck eggs, and I hope you lost a ton of money when the console bubble burst. I was able to purchase a PlayStation 5 at regular retail price, and I did this by getting up at 5 a.m. and going outside my local Fred Meyer's when they opened up at 6 a.m. I found out that they received console shipments on 3 specific days each week by politely talking to staff. And then every day when they opened up on those days, I would see if they had any new video game systems, and then I would go home and go back to sleep. It took almost 2 months and 19 attempts, but I finally got there on the day that they received the shipment of PlayStation 5 consoles, and I got my PlayStation 5 console at regular retail price. It is the sunken cost fallacy, and it sort of feels like putting coins in a slot machine, because eventually it was going to finally pay off, and it did. And I was able to get my PlayStation 5, and I didn't pay one damn dime above the regular retail price. But there's a better way to do this. Now, other tech companies such as Apple and Google don't do this. Even smaller retro video game product companies such as Terra Onion and Retrovision don't do this. Here's what they do. They have a time when online pre-orders go live, and then they take everyone's money who wants to give it to them, and then they actually manufacture the hardware and ship it to them in the order that people place the pre-orders. Over the past couple years, I've gotten Google Pixel phones, HD Retrovision Genesis component cables, and Terra Onion optical drive emulators, all at regular retail price by pre-ordering them and having them shipped to me in the order that I placed the pre-orders. They didn't do this whole having to pre-order feeding frenzy, as they manufactured a small batch of hardware and then shipped it out over a short period of time. And that's what I think Analogue is doing wrong. They're making consoles ahead of time, and they're taking a very small amount of pre-orders from people and not caring if people are going to actually buy multiple systems and sell them for profit, and then they ship them out over a short period of time. And it creates a whole amount of fear of missing out. And it also alienates people who are on the fence about getting one and who are shut out of the process. The actual retail price of an Analogue Pocket is $220, and they seem to be going for about $400 on eBay. That is for suckers and chumps. This year, I was able to get a retro USB ABS at regular retail price by pre-ordering it and waiting patiently for it to be manufactured and shipped out. And that is how I want to buy future video game consoles. Take my money in a calm and orderly fashion, and take everybody's money who wants to give it to you, and then manufacture the consoles and ship them to people in the order when they're ready that they pre-ordered. You're not even taking a risk about having excessive inventory, because you already have the money from the people who want to buy the damn thing. Now, this is what I'm playing instead. I'm currently enjoying playing almost every single retro video game system from Sony PlayStation and before on my Mu Mini Plus emulator console, which I also got at regular retail price. I've also been enjoying my Game Boy Advance SP, which is modded with an IPS screen and a bigger battery and a slick transparent shell. And I also have an EverDrive that can play every single Game Boy Advance game, and another EverDrive that can play every single Game Boy Color and every single Game Boy OG game. Here is a Famicom Edition Game Boy Advance SP that I imported. A Famicom Edition Game Boy Micro that I imported. My 16-bit Pocket Plus MD clone Mega Drive. I got a silver Game Boy Pocket from Japan, and my basic bro Nintendo Switch Lite. It is 2023, and if you make it hard for people to give you money for a thing, then you sort of suck at capitalism. Analogue makes good consoles, but I wouldn't know about what it's like about owning one, since they're not good at selling them online, and I sincerely hope that they fix that. This is 8-Bit Joystick. Stay awesome. Play retro.